Hey yo, what it do? Welcome back to the Axis of Combat podcast. It's your boy, one of your co-hosts, Ray Boogie. You already know my co-host.
Hugo the boss, Hugo got next. You already know. And before we get into, the podcast, you guys already know the business. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visuals right now? Drop a comment. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. And before we get into this UFC Austin card, we're going to, talk. We're not even going to recap our bets because we got rinsed, quite frankly, last weekend.
Absolutely washed.
Washed up. But essentially, Benavidez did it, we thought he was going to go to decision. He did it. He, impressive fashion, stopping Andrade. Him and Canelo's the fight that has to happen, to be frank, at this point.
100%.
PFL did not go our way because Aspen Ladd's head is too big. She didn't want to go away. Kayla Harrison was putting the beats on her,
Lomachenko. I mean, not Lomachenko.
Larissa Pacheco.
Larissa Pacheco did everything she could to get that woman out of here, and she just, that woman had a melon, boy.
And then
like a head kick in the fifth. Nothing.
OAM was someone I was expecting to possibly lose money on with the finish, but the line was just too nice to play. It is what it is. We're gonna have weekends like that. I gotta admit, we've done a pretty good job this year of just few and far in between weekends like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, sometimes you're the dishwasher. Sometimes you're the dish getting washed.
It's a good analogy, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. We're not perfect. We try our best to be perfect for you guys. But we definitely like to say that we hit more times than we lose. And to that point,
We definitely lost.
judge us more, judge us by our losses, because we have so few. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, no, don't judge us this weekend, please.
Please, yeah, there's way too many losses this weekend.
There's way too many losses this weekend.
But listen, it happens. But now to jump into this UFC Texas card, well, UFC Austin more in particular / precise specific fashion, as per the UFC's naming convention of this.
God damn, you used mad vocabulary with that motherfucker right there.
Was it articulate? Was it correct?
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. That's some lawyer talk.
Yeah, I was trying, man. Yeah, I had to,
Wherein, thereas, because of, therefore.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to sound like Stephen A. the way I eloquate myself, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, just to jump into this, we got rinsed on bets, so let's just move into this card and let's try to turn things around. We have this card, we have another boxing card coming up next weekend, but we'll talk about that next week. I think it's next week, that crazy card with all the boxers on it. I'll check it right now.
It's next week. It's December. Actually, it might be this. No, there's no way it's this week.
No way it's this week.
It's got to be next week.
Because I know next week we have, you're right, we have your dog and Gutierrez.
Hey, yo.
So you're right, we do, have work next week.
Yes, sir, we're back.
Boxing sketch.
Missed it a little bit, know what I'm saying?
And then, actually, this weekend we have Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia is fighting this weekend?
No one's talking about it. Michael Conlon. Yeah, the next week is the big card. No, not next week's the big card. Next week is Regis Prograis and Devin Haney. That's a fucking huge fight. Excuse my language. Robesi Ramirez. Jake Paul, Andre August. That's a few weekends away. The big card.
I think it's like the 16th.
The 23rd.
23rd. Oh,
yeah.
2 days before Christmas.
2 days before Christmas. And then the day after Christmas, Inoue is fighting on the 26th.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
Yeah, this oh my goodness. Yeah, this is a fun, believe it or not, guys, this is a fun month for boxing. And for the UFC too. So we're gonna jump right into this because this is a very fun card. So let's kick it off and get right into it. We could talk about Ryan Garcia, but just to wrap them off, Ryan Garcia and Michael Conlon, we got to do a little more homework.
Yeah, I had no idea they were even fighting this weekend.
Boxing.
Yeah, boxing.
With their promotion. So, but we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you guys on social media about that. But we are ready to talk some UFC. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna focus on that. Follow us on social media for Garcia and Colin bets. But UFC Austin, here we come.
All right, first fight to kick off this 13-fight UFC Austin card. We have in the curtain jerker here, we got Jamey-Lyn Horth going one-on-one with Veronica Hardy. Horth out of Canada, 33 years old, 6-0. They got her here on Tapology as a -110. Then we got Veronica Hardy. Venezuelan, fighting out of England, though, 28 years old, 7-4-1 overall. Also got her as a -110 pick'em. I'm pretty sure those odds are not accurate. I think those lines are extremely blown up. Yes, Horth is now a -180.
I feel like you got. I feel like an insta bet with Veronica Hardy on this one.
I kind of missed the boat there. Well, see,
you like Horth.
I like Horth.
Yeah.
I like Horth here. Listen, she fought Haley Cohen in her debut. That was a weight class up. Haley's been, I don't say Haley's been ducking people, but like they've been trying to get her a fight forever. And for some reason, either she was pulling out or her opponents were pulling out.
Hey.
Pause. Horth, on the other hand, it sounds like, according to her and according to her people, nobody wants to fight her. Wanted to get into the UFC, decided to take this fight a weight class up. I mean, not this fight, the Haley Cowan fight, weight class up. Ended up beating her. She's going against Veronica Hardy here, who looked pretty good against Juliana Miller. But Juliana Miller looked pretty bad. I mean,
it hasn't aged well.
It's not. I mean, listen, it's a good comeback win for Hardy.
Horrible.
But goddamn, like, Killer Miller was no killer. She looked like the Walking Dead in that motherfucker. Like, she was bad. She looked bad.
Killer was being killed.
Yes. The only thing she was killing was my time. It was pretty rough. Hardy, I think she's the more athletic of the two. I think she's gonna have the better footwork. She's gonna have the speed. The only reason why I'm leaning Horth here, well, not the only reason. Horth is gonna be the bigger girl. Horth is gonna be the longer girl. I think Horth is gonna be the more physical girl, and I think Horth is gonna be the harder puncher of the two. I think Horth's win in her debut, I think holds a little more weight than Veronica Hardy's comeback win. Not comeback win, I guess. Comeback in the sense of like this is her first fight back in like over 4 years, right? It was like 4 years. I mean, I guess if Juliana Miller would have showed up, it would have been a more impressive fight. But it was a good win for her. She is revigorated, rejuvenated. But the one thing I think she needs to do against Horth here, I don't think she's gonna do it. I think the way to beat Horth is to pretty much just pressure her, and I don't know if Veronica's gonna do that. Veronica is more the stick and move kind of fighter, especially when she fights the bigger, longer opponents.
But she is small for the weight class.
She is small. Horth is bigger. I'm going to lean Horth here. I probably missed the money line. She's -180. I don't think I'm going to touch that.
No.
Horth is a finisher. Her first decision was her last win. So it's possible. Veronica Hardy's very tough, though.
Dog.
You can break her. You can, I think. It's possible. But
the grappling, probably. Not the striking.
But I'm going to lean Horth here. Probably by decision. But in terms of betting here, I got no action at the moment. I missed the money line, so I don't know what I'm gonna do unless I see some crazy props. What about you?
I'm with you. I think Horth should win this fight, but I tell you what, if this line gets a little disrespectful towards Veronica Hardy, I think I might have to play her. Plus 150 is decent. I think if she starts dwindling in like that plus 180 range, I think even plus 175, I'll take her because very good off her back foot. She's used to being the smaller girl, extremely durable. I think now that she's, married Dan Hardy, a husband, and they've agreed to center her training in one camp as opposed to her traveling all over the world for her previous, 11 fights. Now she, her 12th fight, she, was like the first fight where she was centered in one camp to like, really facilitate a game plan. I feel like with her durability, her toughness, her striking ability, her quickness, her ability to work off her back foot, as well as, her just her overall toughness and her ability to adapt in fights. I feel like this fight's definitely going to decision, and I'll probably be on the dog side if it does get there. I agree with my brother with, Horth's size and things of that nature. I just think beating Haley Cowan is not like, is it really like, what is it to, what's the accomplishment there, right?
Yeah, no, I get it.
A girl who's inactive, inexperienced, she's like a cheerleader, if I'm correct, that transition into MMA. The UFC's pushing her because, let's be frank, she's light on the eyes. No disrespect, she doesn't fight.
No, I mean, but she's she's
athletic. She's athletic.
She is athletic.
That's it.
And she's got the she's got some talent there.
You argue she couldn't even win her contender. She didn't even win her contender series fight.
Yeah, I don't think she won a contender.
How crazy is that? Yeah. So
she's still a little raw. She's a little green.
Very
sure.
raw.
Yeah.
If she develops, sure, because she has the gifts. But as of right now, the Horth was supposed to be a layup for her, and it was. I mean, it wasn't. So I don't really put a lot of stock into that Cowan win. Mercedes a dog. She's fought big girls before. She's used to being undersized. If this money line gets disrespectful, I might play it. Even a decision, probably it's like a plus 300 for Mercedes decision. Oh, Hardy decision. I'm gonna play that. So we'll figure it out. But I have no action on this fight. Yeah, we can move on to the next one.
All right, next fight we have on the prelims in the welterweight division. We have the debuting, or it's the re-debuting, Wellington Turman, the prodigy, 18-7, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 27 years old, going one-on-one with Night Train, Jared Gooden, 22-9, fighting out of Georgia, 29 years old. This fight is it's a tough fight for me to pick. I do like the fact that Turman is moving down in weight. I'm gonna pick Turman here, but I'm not picking Turman with the greatest of confidence. Jared Gooden, I mean, say what you want about his takedown defense or even his striking defense to a certain extent. Guy's a boxer, man.
Yeah, he got hands.
Got excellent striking. He is a brown belt. He isn't like a slouch on the ground.
No.
By any means.
And his takedown defense early is decent.
Yes.
Like, it's not horrid, so.
Yeah, the way I kind of see this fight is kind of, it's a little unconventional, but it's like the unconventional striker versus the unconventional grappler. I think if this fight stays standing, I do think Turman is the harder hitter and the slightly better striker, even though, I mean, not Turman, Gooden. But Turman has been training with Pereira and Teixeira in that camp. And in his last fight, you can kind of tell the difference where his striking has improved a bit. So I don't want to say it's a complete wash. I still give the slight edge to Gooden. The only problem with Gooden, again, like I mentioned before, is that his striking defense, he leaves his hands low. And that's kind of like a new development for him as of his last couple fights. Which probably, it helps him with his, his offense overall, because you don't really, he's trying to mask, I guess, his striking a little more. But, it doesn't really help his defense, which is already kind of a little sus and, to begin with. So I'm going to pick Turman here. Surprisingly, the way I see this fight playing out, I think it does go over, which is kind of, again, another unconventional way of looking at this fight, because these guys both kind of could finish. Gooden's got power. Turman can't finish. But for some reason, I see this fight just going the distance. I don't know why. Because I think, well, I mean, maybe I do know why, because I'm thinking about it. I think Turman probably is going to find some success grappling. I don't know how he's going to get there in particular. Gooden, again, not incompetent on the ground. He doesn't do enough in the stand-up. I mean, to stand up. But he'll do enough to mitigate your offense on the ground, because he'll he'll 2-on-1 your arm and stuff like that. I'm picking Turman here. Turman by decision. From a betting standpoint, no action at the moment. Don't know how I'm gonna approach it. This is gonna be another one where I'm gonna wait for props because Turman right now is minus 190, 100, like 200. It's better than what he opened up at, but like, when have you seen a Turman fight that you can confidently like feel good at him at like minus 200?
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
They're always close.
Yeah, it's like this line should be a little close. I do think Turman is probably the rightful favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised if Gooden kind of just like eke this one out.
He might knock him out.
He could knock him out.
Because his boxing is he's a lot like Bobby Green, man.
Yeah,
he has like that same style, you know, and it's very. I agree with you. I think Turman should win this fight. I just don't know about minus 200. I think that's a little crazy. Like you can keep that shit over there. And I'm like I said, I think Turman. He gets a little overlooked, but if you look at his schedule, he's fought some decent competition. So it's like, I don't look at Turman and say, damn, he's, you know.
And it was a weight class up. So it's
correct.
Like, you know.
Now he's fighting at 70 where I think he's going to do his best work.
Now what one thing that I do fear is the speed.
Yeah.
You know, because when you come down a weight class, you have to deal with faster hands. And, you know, Turman... Not the I don't want to say he's the quickest, but like he ain't the quickest. So no, but I mean, yeah. From a money line perspective, I can't really I can't bet this guy.
And the thing is, you don't even. It's hard to determine how this fight's gonna look.
Yeah, it's
a risky bet in my opinion. He could sub him, he could knock him out, or it could go to the decision. Like there's way too many variables in this to like bet it, in my opinion.
Yeah, very high variance.
And who knows what Jerry Gooden's gonna show up, you know? But the lean is definitely Turman. I agree with you there. 100%.
All right, next fight on the prelims we have in the light heavyweight division. We have Ihor Potieria, the duelist, 20-4, fighting out of Ukraine, hailing from Ukraine, 27 years old. Going one-on-one with the debuting Trator, Rodolfo Bellato, 11-2, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 27 years old. Low level high. This is a low level light heavyweight fight. I do like the Botello side. I just don't like Potieria. I think, if you go back into it, like, you know, if you're looking at his Tapology or his Sure Dog, wherever you get your stats at, record extremely padded. Came to the UFC. I mean, this guy was set up to lose to Shogun. Was able to beat Shogun.
And barely beat him.
Barely beat him.
Got caught, if I'm correct, in that fight.
I just don't want to say this guy's a fraud. I think that's a little too strong of a word to throw around, you know, again, for a guy who professionally fights. But I don't think he's the goods. I don't think he's UFC caliber. I think they're setting up Bellato here to get a win. Bellato, I think, got a sub in his Contender Series fight. Looked good. He's a finisher.
Punches
his last fight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean Bellato here. He's probably one of the bigger favorites on the card. He's like minus 400, minus 410. Just updated before my very eyes. Stinks from a money line perspective. Again.
Low level heavyweights, man.
I'm leaning Bellato here. I'm probably gonna lean sub. I'm assuming his sub prop is gonna be kind of juiced. I mean, he's gonna be juicy. He ain't gonna be juiced. So that's probably the way I might play it, depending on how that number looks. But yeah, it's not a fight I'm really too excited about. And yeah, again, I'm not high on Potieria. I think he's a little fraudulent, I guess. I think that might be a better way to frame it.
Yeah, and I agree. I also think betting on someone who's making their debut, we've talked about in the show numerous times.
Yeah.
Those UFC, and by the way, this is not in the Apex. This is going to be in front of a fucking live crowd.
Yep.
So he's either going to rise to the occasion, which doesn't happen most of the time, or he's going to get he's going to get fucked up. Like, it's just that frank, right? So I'll be honest with you. If this line gets super disrespectful towards Potieria, like at that plus 400, 500 range, I might just play him by knockout.
I mean, yeah, I get it. There is a chance he pulls like,
Correct.
He freezes under the lights in his debut. I can see that.
I'm with you though. Bellato's definitely the lean, but
I think he's the goods.
I just think at 5-1, 4-1, that's a little crazy. Like, I don't think anyone should be 4-1 favorite in their UFC debut unless it's like MVP fighting Kevin Holland, and even that's who knows what could happen in that fight.
Yeah,
but MVP should be like a 2-1 favorite in that fight because he should light Kevin Holland up.
Probably. I mean, it depends, man. The UFC audience ain't used to MVP, so
no, they get ready for it.
And that's just a rumored fight. We don't know if that's official or nothing. But I'm
not breaking any news here, but
there was some leakage, Pause.
But yeah, Bellato's the lean for all your reasons, and but 4-1. That line is a little disrespectful. Don't worry, guys. We're going to be jumping into a fight that I think is bettable next. So let's get into that one, my brother.
All right, next fight on the card in the featherweight division. Steve Garcia, the Mean Machine, 14-5, fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, 31 years old, going one-on-one with, I don't know how to say this guy's nickname. I don't even know how to say his first name. I always wanted to call him Mescal.
Melquizael.
Yeah. Costa.
Melquizael.
I busted his name so bad. I apologize, sir.
Melquizael, I think so.
20-6, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 27 years old. This fight's gonna be a banger.
Yes.
I think just, off top, haven't looked at the props. We don't have any props currently,
unfortunately,
in our market at the moment. I would lean unders. Under 1.5, probably under 2. Well, definitely under 2.5. Steve Garcia, I've always had a bad read on this guy. I feel like I pick him to lose and he wins, and then I pick him to win and he loses.
He's definitely better than we thought he was going to be.
Yes, he's one of these guys where, I remember infamously saying one time, I'm never going to bet a guy named Steve. And I lost that. I lost that bet. Garcia's a dog, man. Garcia's a dog. Goes forward, throws wild, hits hard. Can be hit though, can be chinned, but he's one of those like kill or be killed. You got to get him out of there. Costa, on the other hand, wasn't really impressed with this guy either. I kind of had him on the same track as Garcia, where like I just thought he was a little bit overrated. Until his last fight where he looked really clean, looked really technical. This guy hits hard. I'm leaning Costa here. I think Costa's probably just the more technical striker. When it comes to the grappling, I think I give Costa the edge there as well. I think he's more competent.
Better wrestler too, in my opinion.
Better wrestler. I think I don't want to say he's better than Steve everywhere, but I feel like he's kind of got Steve covered in most areas, except for like,
maybe power.
Maybe power, Maybe. And again, Steve Garcia, Costa's going to be winning rounds because Steve can't take a punch. Not that he can't take a punch, but he's going to go down. He's going to be touching, his ass is going to be touching canvas for a couple times.
Correct.
Especially early. I'm leaning Costa here. Probably. I know I said that the unders probably hit here, but maybe Costa by decision. Maybe I'm wilding.
I mean, this is a scary fight to bet on, but I also kind of like it from a dog standpoint because I do feel like Steve Garcia's pressure and power always makes shit interesting.
True.
Like I said, we thought the same thing in the other fight, and he nuked that dude. You know what I'm saying? I forgot what homeboy's name was, but
was it in his last fight?
It was his last fight, I think so, or his second to last fight.
Shailan Nurembeki.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna beat that guy.
I didn't think so either, to be honest.
Who he lost to recently?
Mahashate is his last loss. Yeah, and I think he should have beat that guy too, to be honest. Yeah, that's why I think he's a little. And then not his first win, but the win before Nurembeki was Chase Hooper.
Yeah,
and
he put mitts on Hooper, man. I remember that fight.
But to be honest, I feel like they try to give Hooper a layup, and then Steve was just like, I'm not a stepping stone. You know what I'm saying? So
correct. You know, I just think the line, I agree with Costa. I just don't like this line on Costa at minus 250.
Yeah, it's a little too big.
I think plus 205 on Steve Garcia. I would love to see what his knockout prop is when they drop it. Matter of fact, I'm curious. Let me see if they have that shit. Like knockout round 1. No, of course they don't have it. Traitors. It's weird with like these sports books. They have them available sometimes and then they don't. Like and then we do the podcast pretty much on the same fucking day. So
yeah, most of the time they don't have it. It's usually a surprise when they do have it.
Correct.
When we do film, but like while we're filming this, usually we only have money lines and over unders for the rounds. You know, we don't really have that much information in terms of props. That's why, you know, we like to release the props later and just our overall bets later in the week, you know. But then, you know, we get shit like, you know, I just missed the line on Jamey-Lyn Horth. So it's like,
yeah,
damn if you do, damn if you don't, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, but you know, meme machine. You know, like longest yard, you know what I'm saying? But I think this dude fights like his nickname, you know? So, I mean, I've been wrong on him before, but I do feel like this is a matchup that he can exploit if he pressures and puts his punches together. He can crack. So I would love to see the lineup, but Costa's definitely the lean for sure. It's a great fight though.
I think Costa's the lean, but you're right. I don't hate the dog shot on Meme Machine over here because, like I said, I've been wrong about Garcia, and what I realized, like I said, dude's a dog, man.
Yeah,
tough to get out.
No committed bet here, but don't be surprised if there's a bet placed on Steve Garcia, 100%.
All right, next fight on the prelims for UFC Austin in the lightweight division. We have Joe Solecki, 13-3, fighting out of Gastonia, North Carolina, 30 years old, going one-on-one with Drakkar Klose, 13-2-1, fighting out of Glendale, Arizona, 35 years old. I like this fight. This is another well-matched fight for both guys. For Joe, it's probably his most legit name so far. For Drakkar. Good comeback fight. Decent, like it's not a layup, but it's a solid comeback fight coming off of he had ACL surgery recently.
Yeah. He hasn't been the same since that Jeremy Stevens push.
No, he hasn't.
He pushed the soul out of his body. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he pushed the vertebrae out of his neck or some shit like that.
That shit is crazy.
It messed him up pretty bad. I'm gonna lean as a pick. I don't think as a bet yet. Depends on listen, the money line is pretty close here. It's plus 105 for Solecki, minus 125 for Klose. That seems about right to me. I like Klose here. I just think Klose overall, just a better striker. Well, I think by far just a better striker. Probably slight edge for the wrestling. The jitsu.
It's close. He's underrated.
Might be close.
He's underrated, Drakkar.
Solecki's nice, though.
He's better. I would say Solecki's better, but Drakkar been training with Benson Henderson his whole career, and Benson Henderson is a fucking phenomenal grappler.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's not like Klose can't be taken down, because Klose has been taken down in a couple of his fights, but, you know, he was still able to win those fights. Like, he got taken down by Bobby Green, he got taken down by Venata, been taken down by DeCasey several times.
By the way, which says a lot about
all those fights.
Which, by the way, says a lot about his striking, because all those guys that my brother just listed are strikers.
Yeah.
So if they're taking him down, Bobby Green doesn't wrestle anyone outside of Tony Ferguson in his last fight. Venata, that was probably a new wrinkle to his game, but he's predominantly a striker. And then the other guy that you mentioned was another one. So, and listen, Solecki can grapple. Like he's a 35. He's a 55er. Sorry. He grappled with Donald Cerrone, who I'm very high on with the grappling. He actually beat him in a grappling match. So Solecki's got legitimate skill on the floor. But I don't think Drakkar Klose is going to be completely lost there either.
No, not at all.
And Drakkar is in my opinion, Drakkar Klose is one of the most underrated fighters. It's just he doesn't fight enough.
Yes,
that's his problem. Like he almost killed Beneil Dariush that fight.
Infamously, almost killed Dariush.
Yeah, because I love how they keep saying like, and this is going to lead up to the main event. Yeah. Everyone keeps saying that that the elite status was shown, the difference in that fight, like the elite fighter versus the guy who's kind of a journeyman or the guy who's kind of not elite. But dude, he almost killed him in the beginning of that fight. Mm-hmm. So is Beneil really that guy? You know? But we'll leave that further for the main event. All I'm saying is I think if Drakkar did that to Beneil, he can do that to anyone in this division.
100%. And like just going back into Solecki's, fight history
Who's
here.
he fought?
I mean, his best win
Jim Miller.
Might be Jim Miller.
Which is crazy.
You could argue he lost to Jared Gordon.
Correct.
It was a split decision. I thought Jared Gordon won that fight personally. He has a win over Austin Hubbard. He has a win over, his last fight, Carl Deaton. He did what he had to do against Carl Deaton. Carl Deaton isn't really like he ain't a world.
He ain't the sexiest name.
Yeah,
in the UFC.
He doesn't. This might be the strongest puncher he's fought, and not that the Klose is like sleeping dudes, but the Klose got some pop.
Yeah,
and
skill. He's a skillful fighter. And
Solecki doesn't really do the best against people who can strike pretty solidly. So it's like, again, this is a good fight because if Solecki could get over the Klose here, I think it's not going to only show that he's worthy of like maybe even a ranked opponent next, but just the evolution in his game, because I don't rate his striking that highly at all.
No.
I do rate his jits pretty good, and I am worried about his gas tank. So I think if you like the Solecki side from a betting perspective, I think you go Solecki early, Solecki sub, because that's probably his most likely path to victory. I don't think he's knocking out the Klose. The longer this fight goes, the more I like the car. I'm not saying the car finishes, but I wouldn't be mad at like a third round sprinkle. I do think more than likely it's probably a decision win for Klose. It's probably a close decision win. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, the kind of argument like, well, if you think it's going to be a close decision, would you rather be on the dog? I don't blame you if you're on Solecki. I don't think Solecki's whack.
No.
It's just,
Drakkar's got better tools, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's just a guy who's got better tools. He is older, but he's not, the counter argument to that is that he's not as shop worn. He hasn't taken as much, damage as, most fighters his age.
No.
So, yeah, just give me the Klose here. I think most likely by decision. Could be a close decision. I wouldn't be mad at a third round stoppage, but that's what I'm feeling for this fight here.
This line is good enough just to play the money line. So if you like your car, just play the money line, because it can go so many different ways. Your car could sub him too. He could club and sub, hurt him and then sub him. So I don't see that, but anything could happen in this fight. So, but the money line's nice.
All right, next fight we have in the prelims here in the middleweight division. We have what I'm probably going to consider the Unga Bunga fight of the night.
Horrible fighter.
We got Cody
Horrible
Brundage.
fighter.
9-5, fighting out of Colorado, 29 years old, going one-on-one with the debuting Zach the Savage Reese, 6-0. The only hometown boy so far, fighting out of Shiner, Texas, 29 years old. Listen, I'm not the biggest Cody Brundage fan. His last fight against Malkoun, my man took the first exit he could find. Malkoun was rinsing my guy.
He fucked up our bets, low key.
Yeah,
because we had good units on Malkoun's second round, and it got there, and then he complained about like an elbow, and then you see Malkoun when he was complaining about the elbow, like, you pussy.
yeah,
he was just triggered.
He took the DQ win. He got the fuck out of there. He was like, listen, because like if that fight would have kept going, Malkoun was gonna just straight rinse
Maul him.
Yeah, it was gonna be bad. And listen, Brundage, he's a good first round fighter.
Great first round fighter.
He comes at you, with the same straight up swinging unga bunga. I'm a land on your chin, because a lot of his knockouts are like just the overhand right, or the overhand left, straight down. He's got a little bit of pop and power. Don't really got the cardio. You get him out of, once the first 5 minutes pass, he's like a fish out of water. Zachary Reese making his debut, never been out of the first round himself.
This fight is borderline, guys. It's borderline 1-800 gamblers. You want to bet the violence, that's one thing, but if you're gonna pick a money line here, you might need to get some help.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, this is a very scary fight to bet because you know what's crazy? Cody Brundage is probably the lean here because he's the better wrestler. Like, he's the better wrestler and he technically can crack. So I mean, but like, am I gonna pick that? Fuck no.
Yeah,
Fuck no. I don't want to bet that.
Currently, they got Cody Brundage at plus 290. They got Zachary Reese making his debut, by the way, at minus 230. You can't take the money line on either. Like, you know, just from a general like stance, this fight is technically dog or pass, but it's like the dog is Cody Brundage. I don't feel too good about that, if I'm being honest. If Cody Brundage is like if he was like plus 250, maybe, but at plus 190, he ain't worth the sniff, you know. And Zachary Reese, like I said, making his debut. Never seen him out the second round. We don't know what he's going to look like out the second round. Also has wild unga bunga type striking where he's just got crazy overhands and shit like that. Like, I think the unders do hit. I probably wouldn't play the under 1.5 only because I could see some Brundage shit happening where this fight, you know, he just has a tendency on fucking up, like, you know, bets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
you can't even fade him correctly.
Yeah, you
bro.
can't fade. Like, he's one of those guys you can't even fade the man correctly. So it's like, I do think the unders do hit. I'm probably not going to touch this fight. I'm not going to. I
might parlay like the under 2.5.
Never say never. Maybe the under 2.5 or the fight does not
go. I'll parlay it, but I'm not like even the under 1.5. I could see him just like squeaking by it and then fucking up your parlay or fucking up your bet.
Or maybe even like fight doesn't start round 3, depending on how that number looks. Like, I don't know. But I think like the sports books are probably going to be on it. They know this is one of these like easy to read fights. So the unders are probably going to be fucking juiced. You're probably better off taking a shot on the over 1.5, if I'm being honest. Because I can see some fuckery happening like that. I'm going to pick Zach Reese to win because I'm never going to pick Cody Brundage as a pure pick until he shows me something different. I'm going to pick Zach Reese probably by knockout. Probably first round. But I don't know. I can't bet Zach Reese. I don't know enough about the guy. Yeah. And I can't bet Cody Brundage because I know too much about the guy. I don't want to know any more about Cody Brundage. This is a good get up and get your fucking nachos or go walk your dog and go take a shit kind of fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe not, because if you like the violence, you like to see just straight, you know, street brawls type shit. Like, this is probably a good fight to watch. But, you know, from a betting perspective, it's a little rough. It should be technically dog or pass, but I'm picking Kyle Reese to win. But I'm not betting this fight, at least from a money line. I need to see some crazy lopsided prop for me to even be remotely interested in betting this fight.
Yeah, you might need some help if you bet the money line this fight. To my point, this is a very dangerous fight to bet on. Yeah, I want enough. I don't know if I'm gonna want anything to do with this fight. We'll see how we can parlay the violence, but that's about all.
All right, now the main event for the prelims at the women's bantamweight division, we have the legend Cupcake Miesha Tate. 19-9, fighting out of Olympia, Washington, 37 years old, going one-on-one with Julia Avila, the Raging Panda. 9-2, fighting out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 35 years old. This is probably a 1-800-GAMBLERS fight.
That's what's scary, man, too.
I like Miesha Tate, man. Never gonna disrespect Miesha Tate. She's a legend in the game. She's an OG of the OG for the women's MMA. She's washed, in my opinion. Her last win was against that 42-year-old
Marin Monroe.
Yeah.
Renault. Yeah, I think it's named Marin Renault.
Avila, she's solid from what I've seen, but she hasn't fought in over 2 years. She's coming off of not only I think it's also an ACL surgery, but also pregnancy, kind of like a pseudo retirement thing. You know, at the time she was having difficulty recovering from the ACL injury, decided to tweet out, you know, my MMA career has been solid so far, but I kind of want to focus on the family thing now. Had a baby. 2 years later, they call her up. She must be still under contract. Like, hey, listen, we need a fight for Miesha here. Fuck it, you know? Let's send it. She's 35. She's 37. I think When it comes to the striking, I probably give the slight edge to Avila. When it comes to the grappling and the wrestling, I'm gonna give it a Tate. Just slightly though. I don't know how to pick this fight. This might be dog or pass. I don't mind taking the shot on Miesha here. I feel like this is just my theory. UFC 300's coming around. She fought on 200.
Headlined it.
Did she headline it?
Well, Nunez, yep. Nunez closed the show.
I could see them trying to just give her a nice little win here. I haven't seen a woman who was pregnant who came back and won their first fight.
Juliana Pena.
Did she win her first fight?
I think so.
Is she the only one?
I don't know. Actually, no. I think she probably lost to Valentina, actually. That she kind of turned it around. You're not wrong. No.
I'm thinking about like
her kid's got some age on her. No, so it's I don't know. I don't know
it's like the first fight after pregnancy, like after the birth giving process. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just there's too many question marks around Avila. I don't know if she's washed. I do know Miesha is a bit washed. I don't know how washed Avila is. This fight is just scary to bet on, only because there's just so many unknowns going against someone who you do know, but you're just afraid to put any kind of money on because, again, you know, she lost to Lauren Murphy. It's not a good look.
No. She wasn't lucky against lucky Lauren Murphy.
Was not lucky. This is probably a stay away, maybe dog or pass. I don't blame you if you want to take the shot on Avila. I think there's just too many question marks on my end. It might be just straight dog or pass. I'd take the shot on Miesha.
Miesha's more active. She's got champion grit. She's got the better resume. She's technically the better wrestler, even though Avila, I think, has underrated takedown defense. But I feel like, you know, Miesha's smart. She'll game plan properly. She's physically in the best shape of her life, which I don't know if Avila is. I would love to see the weigh-ins and the scale with all this before I make a decision.
100%, yeah.
But I will tell you, I think it's dog or pass. I agree. I don't love Miesha. I don't hate Miesha. I don't love Avila. I don't dislike Avila. I just think it's line. You play the line, but not sure I want anything to do with this bet. I'd rather bet the Steve Garcia fight, to be frank.
I don't think the Steve Garcia fight is that terrible.
No. It's risk. Well, actually, no. So I'd rather bet. No, I would not rather bet. I'd rather bet the Cody Brundage fight.
Don't say that. No. I'm about to cast you out right now.
No, I'd rather bet the Miesha Tate fight. But yeah, I'd rather put my money into like something that I feel a little more has a little bit more direction, like the Steve Garcia fight. That's what I meant by that. You know, I feel like I can see something. This fight, it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah,
for a lot of reasons. Because Miesha could go belly up. This could be a retirement fight for Miesha if she loses.
Could be.
You know, so I don't know. Scary waters. But yeah. Now we're going to get into some fights that we actually feel a little more comfortable betting on. So let's do it.
All right. To kick off the main card in the middleweight division, we have Punahele Soriano. I think I said his first name right. Punahele?
Yeah.
9-3, fighting out of Oahu, Hawaii. I think I got that right, but I'm whatever. 31 years old, going one-on-one with Dustin Stoltzfus, 14-5, fighting out of Pennsylvania, 32 years old. I like Puna here.
I love Puna here.
I think Stoltzfus, honestly, is a little overrated.
I think Stoltzfus stole from us in the past.
I mean, he stole a win from Joe Pyfer in the Contender Series. I think that's the reason why he's here. That was the fight that
he dislocated his elbow.
Yeah, he kind of did he come in hurt?
Probably,
or whatever. I don't remember. Listen, that's probably his most impressive win in my opinion. I don't know. I think Stoltzfus is just a little overrated. Puna, he's Hawaiian, so he's got a melon. Pause. He could take a bunch of shots to the dome.
And he can throw.
He can throw down. He's got a bit of a sub game, decent grappling. I just feel like this is just a setup fight for Puna here. Not much else to say. I just don't like Stoltzfus. I don't think he's gonna win this fight.
Granted, Stoltzfus has fought some killers, right? Kyle Dawkins, I think, is underrated. Rodolfo Vieira on the floor. Well, Rodolfo's overrated as an MMA fighter, but as a grappler, he's a beast. Gerald Meerschaert's washed. He got choked out by him. Abus Magomedov got knocked out by him in 1 minute.
Yeah, that wasn't a good look.
That was bad. Like, he made him look like non-UFC caliber in that fight, you know? And that was they knew, the UFC knew what was going to happen in that fight. That's why they set that fight up, you know? Not very high in Dustin Stoltzfus either. I think Puna hits him. Puna hits him, puts him down, and packs him up.
I mean, it's not like Puna's resume is that impressive either. I mean, I think low-key, this is like a loser goes home, gets cut in the UFC type fight. Because his last fight was against Roman Kopylov, which you got to give him a break. Kopilov's been on the come up. He's just a better fighter. His last win was against Lugiambula.
Yes.
And, that's, a striking affair,
Yeah, Lugiambula is a tank of a man, too, by
losing
the way.
losing to Nick Maximov is not a good look. Brendan Allen.
No shame there.
No shame there. His best win. Man, I don't know what his best win is here. Dusko or Lugiambula? I don't know.
I mean, well, depends. Dusko's not terrible.
Well, he beat Jamie Pickett, but I think Jamie Pickett's,
trash.
Yeah,
Trash.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's the way I feel about Jamie Pickett. I'm saying so. Yeah, this is.
I would say Dusko, because Dusko at least can crack.
Probably.
Dusko can wrestle too. Like, he's not completely terrible. He's not a completely terrible fighter. But regardless, I just think Dustin Stoltzfus is like, if I think Puna hits harder probably than Magomedov.
Yeah.
I would say that. And if he catches him once, he's going to put him on his ass and then pack him up with the punches.
I was going to ask, how do you see this fight playing out? Do you see it going the distance? Do you see it as a finish?
No, it's finish.
You think it's a finish? Yeah, I like Puna here.
Puna by knockout.
This is a loser goes home.
Yeah, he ain't subbing him. He's going to knock him out.
Yeah. Listen, I wouldn't be too surprised at the sub, low key. Puna's got some subs.
Yeah, he does.
Stoltzfus got some sub L's. I think he's got some sub L's.
He does, I think so.
He's got a couple of sub L's, yeah.
Yeah, but he's lost to Rodolfo, Gerald Meerschaert.
I can see if that number is crazy, like plus 700. I'm definitely gonna take a little stab at Puna by sub.
I agree.
I'm not too mad at that, but I think Puna is the side. I think we agree here.
Yep.
All right, next fight we got on the main card here at the lightweight division. We have the OG of the OGs, Clay, the Carpenter Guida, 38-23, fighting out of Illinois, 41 years old, going one-on-one with Neto BJJ, Joaquim Silva.
It's a fucking great fight, man.
12-4, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 34 years old. Man, this fight kind of going back and forth on, only because like the money line.
Money line's a little crazy.
Money line's a little crazy. Like right now, it's currently plus 260 on Guida. The comeback on Silva is minus 325. Now, I do think Silva wins this fight.
If it gets out the first round, though.
If it gets, well, I mean, I think if it gets out the first, I think the longer this fight goes, I think it favors Guida.
Yes.
But, I mean, this could be the UFC maybe throwing him a bone, slight bone, maybe not. Who knows? Because Guida ain't no pushover.
Yeah, because Joaquim stepped up and fought Arman Tsarukyan on short notice. Yeah. And that was a fucking banger, man. I mean, like, this, the thing is that, like, it's crazy because, like, sometimes you got to look at the talent. He's so explosive, this guy, and so filthy on the floor. The thing is, I think sometimes, like, there's different motivation in fighters in certain fights. I feel like Joaquim that night, as opposed to other nights, he was ready to die in there with Arman.
Yeah.
And that's why he was so hard for Arman to put away.
Yeah,
you know?
he rocked Arman.
He did.
In the second round,
he did.
If I remember correctly.
Yep, because he can do that. He can do that to anybody. So I'm with you. I think he should beat Clay. But I tell you what, if he doesn't get Clay out by the first round and a half, it's a live bet. Because Clay, like, if he's going to probably go up to, like, what, plus 500? Put, like, a quarter of a unit on that.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree at all. I think, for sure, I think this is one of those bets where if you do like Clay,
live bet.
I think after the first round,
live bet.
It's probably a nice little live bet spot. But if you like the
Neto BJJ,
the Neto side, you know what I'm saying? I think you got to bet that early.
Yeah.
And I do think it's a finish. If you're asking me whether he knocks him out or subs him, I'm going to lean sub.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised at a knockout. I do think no matter what, it does come early. First round, second round. Because after that, I like Neto, but his gas is a little, you know what I'm saying? He gasses, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets a little scary. Like, is that something Guida could take advantage of? Yeah, sure. I mean, Guida's he's older. He's 41. His gas tank ain't infinite like he used to be, but it's still pretty good.
He still outpaces most of these boys, man.
It's crazy. You know,
when you have good gas like that, you're more durable. I just feel like I agree with you. You're gonna bet Joaquim, bet him early, and then Clay late. Clay's a live bet late.
I agree,
and probably by decision, to be frank. But that's why you just bet the decision prop is gonna be prop. I would love to see what it's gonna be for Clay. I don't think it's gonna be too crazy. That's why you just take the money line at like plus 500 after Neto he's gonna put mitts on him. He's gonna hit him in this fight.
Yeah, if you're asking me, I think Neto does win. I think Joaquim Silva does win this fight, and I think it's probably early. It's probably by finish. And again, if you're asking me, gun to my head, I think it is sub over KO, but I would not be surprised at the KO at all. But yeah, that being said, I mean, shit, man, I think this fight's gonna be a banger.
Correct.
No matter what, it's gonna be a fun fight to watch, and there's gonna be some good back and forth. Clay Guida, like I said, the legend. You know what I'm saying? It's always great to watch that guy fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's so enthusiastic about the sport.
Yeah,
and the game after 60 something fights. So
and wait, is he going for like his 40th win? Like, what's his? I read his record off earlier.
He's going for his 39th win.
He's going for his 39th win. You think he fights on UFC 300?
He could, but I think he was on 1, 2, and 2. Which is crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
I think he goes for
him
it.
And Jim Miller.
Yeah.
Jim Miller, too, is another guy. He was on 1, he was on 2, and he's approaching 3. I think they're just saving Jim at this point.
Maybe they're saving him for Guida.
They fought already.
Fuck it, man.
Fuck it again.
Put him. Like, who else are they going to fight? If they both make it to the UFC 300, who are they fighting?
Hopefully not someone they're going to put over.
I think they fight each other.
They should. Again.
Yeah.
Even though Jim guillotined them.
And it could be like a double retirement, Loki.
I hope so. Because I don't want to see these boys get hurt.
Yeah.
Or, and it's time. But, yeah.
All right, next fight we got on the main card here. Another, I guess, low-key banger, low-key. Low-key. No Thor. We got Sean Brady. 15-1, fighting out of Philly. 31 years old, going one-on-one with Kevin Gastelum. 18-8, fighting out of Yuma, Arizona, 32 years old. Kevin Gastelum coming down to welterweight.
Where he belongs.
It's going to be pretty interesting. This is one of these fights where I kind of need to see the scales because I need to see first if my man's going to make weight.
100%.
So far, so good on social media. He's been looking pretty good. He's been looking pretty jacked, pretty slimmed up, looking pretty healthy. So watching him make weight is going to be pretty interesting. And I think it's going to be a little exciting because if he makes it healthy, I like the Gastelum side here.
I'm with you.
I mean, even if he didn't make it healthy, I'd probably still like the Gastelum side here. Nothing against Sean Brady. He's just got to show me more.
100%.
People like to dump all over him because he lost to Bilal Muhammad.
Bilal's an elite fighter.
Bilal's elite, man.
But on the other side, people like to suck him off because for whatever reason, he comes out of the Philly gym. You know how I feel about him.
Yeah,
I'm not very high on this guy.
How do you feel about him, brother?
I mean, I made money on that Bilal Muhammad bet because I called that shit.
Yeah, you did call it.
But the thing is, they talk about his striking, as if it's elite. His striking is not elite. His wrestling, don't get me wrong, his grappling is exceptional.
I think his grappling is great, and I think his wrestling is pretty solid.
His wrestling's okay.
Yeah.
It's a big okay. You want the real Calvin's a better wrestler.
You think so?
100%. 100%. And the thing is, who's the better striker here? It's Calvin Gastelum.
Gastelum's 100% the better striker.
I've heard some people say that, and people have talked to me about this fight already. That Sean's striking's better. Fuck no. What world?
No way.
This guy almost pieced up Stylebender, bro.
Yeah.
And he's used to fight. Now he's fighting guys his size.
Now maybe his striking has improved.
The only thing I worry about with Calvin Gastelum, if this was Calvin Gastelum 4 years ago, Calvin Gastelum would be a minus 400.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah. The only scary thing about Gastelum
mileage.
is his mileage. And his mindset, to be honest, too. It just depends. Like, is he taking his fight serious? Is he going to show up and actually, like...
Try to win.
Yeah, try to win.
You know?
Because, you know, I feel like Brady's one of these guys where, I mean, he's got a sour taste in his mouth.
He's coming. He's coming to fight.
He's coming to win. He wants to win. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't know if he has the skills. Like, his wrestling selection, his shots are not, like, intricate. Like, they're not great. His entries are not great. They're okay.
I mean, I think they're decent enough. I mean, the problem is like when you like
Calvin can wrestle. I feel like people forgot that shit.
It's more like, you know, because if you're watching the Belal Muhammad fight, then like it's hard to say like he was mid when Belal's just that much better, and Belal doesn't get enough credit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I do think Brady has some decent entries. I do think he does have some decent entries.
I think this fight's gonna look a lot like the Belal Muhammad fight. It's just it might end faster just because Calvin hits way harder than Belal.
Yeah,
right. But if
I mean, it could. But at the same time, I do trust Belal's IQ way more than I trust Gaslam's IQ. I think Gaslam, especially on the ground, could make he does have some mental lapses sometimes, and it could get him caught.
Well, here's what I gotta say too. Like,
I don't think it plays exactly out like the Belal Muhammad fight, but I do think it's similar.
And you say why do you think like it's Belal Muhammad and this and that? Like, why? I'm not underrating Belal Muhammad at all, but Belal Muhammad's elite level.
Yeah.
But who has Sean Brady fought before him? Michael Chiesa, Jake Matthews. I mean,
yeah, it's scary.
I mean, dude, like
he beat Chiesa, but he did make Chiesa look like a world-class kickboxer.
Dude, it's fucking insane. Chiesa ain't shit. Yeah. He's another one, bro. Like if there was a prop in New York for him to get fucking dark-choked by Kevin Holland, I would have thrown fucking 3 units on it. Yeah. 3 units. Yeah, and we talked about this. We talked about this shit.
I mean, I bet the sub. So
you did. Yeah. Come on, bro. Like, Chiesa ain't shit. Yeah. Not to like that guy was a weight bully at 55.
Yeah.
Sean Brady had a hard time with him, and he lost one of those rounds.
And the thing, and
he doesn't have gas, by the way.
What worries me about Sean Brady, and you know, again, this is a big prove it fight for him.
100%.
This is a very big prove it fight
for both of them. But not really Calvin. You're right. More Brady. Continue.
No, more Brady for sure. But I do think it's unfortunate because I don't, you know, it might be true that Sean Brady could be also a bit of a weight bully in this division. It could be. He could be.
But Belal's base, boy.
Because when you hear from people like who does commentary, Paul Felder,
yeah,
or like, you know, anybody like Joe Pyfer, or anybody who trains with him,
they suck him off, man.
You know, for lack of a better word,
I love Paul Felder too, and Paul
they dick ride.
Yeah.
Sean Brady's strength. Like, he's the strongest guy I've ever felt. You know, pause in the gym, and it's like.
And Paul,
when you hear that
message to Paul Felder, I respect him so much as a fighter. He shouldn't be commentating his teammates' fights.
No. He gets invested.
No, and I understand why, man. Like I get it, but if I'm Paul, just like if you're the third person on commentary, the second, reserve it for them.
Yes.
I would be biased too for my people.
No,
100%.
Yeah.
But that's why I try to shut the fuck up when I'm giving out picks about people I know. I had someone that I knew that fought on PFL, you know, and I didn't want to pick against them or this and that, you know, like that's just how you play it. Like, but you can't do that shit on commentary where you're just so biased towards this guy. He's so good. Listen, I'm not saying Sean Brady is not he's not a bad fighter at all.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I question if he's elite. The way you guys build him, he's not an elite fighter. I'm sorry. Like all the commentary I've heard leading up to this fight is about his striking, and no, he ain't shit on the feet.
Yeah,
Chiesa was piecing him. Come on, man. I mean,
yeah,
who has he fought? Who has he fought? Chiesa
for this bet.
Who?
I'm definitely leaning Gaslam.
And he's a dog too, by the way.
He's a dog, by the way.
I'm taking that shit. So, mad cursing on this, by the way. We're sorry, but you know this is some passionate shit that we're speaking right now. I'm just not very high on Sean Brady. I don't get me wrong. Like I was wrong about Jack Della. If Sean Brady fought Jack Della, he fucks him up.
Oh yeah,
he does. Yeah. I felt bad, you know. But like if this fight in particular, I feel like we're just sleeping on. Dude, Calvin Gaslam is no slouch on the floor.
Yeah,
he also can wrestle. Like I think he was a state champion wrestler. Don't quote me on that.
The only thing I'm worried about, and I think this is why they got him as a slight favorite, is the fact that like he could backpack. He's only a 3-round fight. He could backpack
two
2
rounds.
rounds, you know. And
But
then,
how does he look in the third, right?
yeah, I mean, listen,
Because look how he gassed against Chiesa. Look how when Bilal Muhammad put some pressure on him, how he folded.
No, you're 100% right.
There's a lot of shit here, man. There's two. The fact that Calvin Gaslam's a dog here is fucking insane to me. I think this should be a pick'em or Calvin Gaslam the favorite. Like, and the only reason even a pick'em is because Calvin Gaslam is cutting the weight, moving down, and he has had some questionable statements in his post fights about his mindset and where he's at.
Yeah.
But dude, this is a guy who was fighting the elite of the elite at welterweight and having success. Yeah, he was 2-7. Jack Hermanson subbed him. He wasn't expecting Jack Hermanson to sub him. He underestimated his ground game. He pieced up Stylebender. You could argue he beat Jerry Cannonier, which is fucking insane because Jerry Cannonier is a heavyweight.
Yeah.
And Chris Weidman, he was fucking him up before he got caught. I mean, like, you know, it's crazy.
It's just those. But the Wyman fight and the Hermanson fight is probably why people are looking at Sean Brady.
Size matters, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Size matters, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
You're not wrong.
and I tell
You're not
people
wrong.
that Calvin Gaslam should never have been in those weight classes. And now he's prepping for a guy who does one thing really well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, plus here's the thing, Chris Weidman, better wrestler than both Hermanson and when Hermanson got the sub, it was more like in a transition.
Yeah.
Like it was a grappling transition. Chris Weidman's a better wrestler than Sean Brady. And he's way bigger than him, bro.
Huge.
Like he's huge. Calvin Gaslam was like a child in that fight.
I'm just gonna wait to
Weigh-ins,
I currently have,
100%.
I have no action on this at the moment.
If Calvin looks bad on the scales, I think you pick Brady. But
I'm gonna wait until we get to see more of this before I jump in. But like, you know, again, you're gonna ask me right now. I do
Calvin
think Gaslam
Gaslam,
should
boy.
be the side.
yeah, fuck Brady. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Like just straight up. I don't care. Like it is what it is.
All right, now in the bantamweight division on the main card, this is the featured fight. We have Rob Font, Boricua, coming back, 20-7, fighting out of Boston, Massachusetts, 36 years old, going 1-on-1 with the debuting in the weight class, Davison Figueiredo, 21-3 with 1 draw. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 35 years old. This fight I think this fight is very good. I've been going back and forth in terms of who I think is going to win this fight. It's tough, man, because I think Rob Font is going to have the size and reach. His jab is crazy. What scares me is Figueiredo, even though he's going to be the smaller dude, I think he hits hard. Font don't really got the best chin. And Font's last fight, where he kind of like got drowned in the grappling, scares me just a little bit because Figueiredo, I think, is the better overall, like, rounded fighter. And this guy's a former champion. You know? It's tough. It's tough because I think if Rob Font just establishes his jab and, like, you know, he could piece up Figueiredo, keep him far. Some people were saying Figueiredo might be washed. I'm not on that train.
There are people who say Rob Font's washed too.
There's people who are also saying Rob Font washed. I'm not on that train. I'm not. Is he old for bantamweight? Yes. 36, you know, you're pushing it. You know what I'm saying? Figueiredo, 35. Did he wait too long to move up? Maybe, maybe not. He just could not make that. He can't make flyweight no more.
He's huge.
He cuts a lot of weight.
Yeah. He's a tweener in my opinion. I think if there was like a 130 weight class, he'd be perfect.
I think his power is going to translate.
His speed probably too.
His speed is going to translate. I'm going to lean Figueiredo here. It sucks. It sucks because I do think Rob Font has a really good chance of winning this fight. I think it's a very good fight. It sucks that this fight is not a 5-rounder either. It's a 3-round fight.
3 rounds favors Figgy in my opinion.
I think Figgy's just got more tools in the box that he can go to. Not that like Rob Font, he's competent on the ground, but who's this last fight? I want to say Sandhagen. He couldn't get a hurt Sandhagen off of him And it kind of worries me just a little bit.
Sandhagen's humongous, though, for the weight class,
He is.
to be fair.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And he also took the fight on short notice.
You're also not wrong about that as well.
His, and I'll jump in.
You know, jump in. Jump in.
3 inches in height, 3.5 inches in reach in favor of Rob Font.
Yeah.
He's physically the bigger guy.
100%.
Knows how to work behind the jab, has one of the best jabs in the sport, in my opinion, and also it's a thudding jab. Like, he can bust your nose open with it. I think Figgy has the tools. I just don't know if Figgy is going to be able to get in on him. I also don't think, besides a guillotine and getting your back, Figgy is not really, I mean, he's filthy on the floor. Let me not take anything away from him. I just think that Rob Font has shown me enough competence on the floor to be able to get back up with a smaller guy on top of him. I really believe that. I don't think Davidson's wrestling is there. I think his grappling is, his wrestling's not there. Why was Corey able to mitigate Rob on the floor? Not only was it the grappling, it was the wrestling. That's why he was able to hold him there for 5 rounds. I think low key at minus 140, this might be a 2-unit play. Minus 155 actually. Now, yep, people might have the same read I have. I think Rob keeps him on the outside and beats him up.
Comeback on Figueiredo, by the way, is plus 130.
Yeah, I like Rob a lot in this fight.
It's such a good fight.
It's not even because he's body or anything. You know, hold it down, baby.
Yeah, hold it down. I'm saying Boricua. I'm saying.
But like, I just think that Rob, this might be a favor from the promotion for him stepping in on 5 days' notice and saving the Tennessee card with Sandhagen.
I mean, but Figueiredo's like I said, you know, former champ. You know what I'm saying? He's got the pedigree. He's got the skill. And I'm afraid, like, what scares me is the speed. Because I've always said it, speed kills, man.
I agree. It's just his guillotine. That's the only, like, I know people talking about the floor game, the ground game, but he's really just a guillotine guy. His guillotine is filthy. I see Rob is a very cerebral fighter. He's going to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
That's why he was able to mitigate a lot of what Corey did on the floor too,
It's a good
with
fight,
damage.
Man. Yeah.
But I agree with you. I'm not trying to take anything away from Figgy. I just think he's a little too small, which is crazy. He's a tweener. If there was a 130 weight class between 25 and 35, he'd be perfect. But like his dimensions alone, like if he was fighting Cody Garbrandt, oh man,
oh no,
man,
it's a slam dunk.
He fucking sends him to the land of wind and ghost, my friend. You know, so I just feel like Rob is going to be able to control the pace of this fight and control the distance and either get a decision or not come out late.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't know.
I understand the Figgy play. Yeah. I just feel like the dimensions are what's going to separate this fight. And Rob, wait till the weigh-in too. You'll see it.
Yeah,
I think Figgy's put on weight. I would like to see how he's put on the mask.
Yeah, there's going to be another one of those fights where I kind of need to see the weigh-in. I kind of like to see how they're talking too. Like, what's Figgy's mentality? How's Rob Font looking? Because, like, I love Rob Font, man, but my man, he's taken a lot of damage in his career. You know what I'm saying? And
I agree. And by the way, like the last 2 fights he got hurt were against who? Marlon Vera and Jose Aldo. Those guys are big punchers, but they also have the physicality and the dimensions to get in on him and time him on the way in. You know, Rob Font's jab is very educated.
Yeah.
So it's not going to put him into trouble. You need a guy who is as precise as like a Cheeto to get it done, to hurt him like that. And I'm not sure Davison is as precise. And he fights in spurts. Cheeto kind of just walks you down, makes you make mistakes. Davidson's going to fight in spurts, you know? Yeah. So I love everything about Rob Font here.
You're leaning Font. I'm leaning Figueiredo. You're more confident in Font than I am in Figueiredo. I could be talked off the ledge here, but I don't know. I was initially on Rob Font when I first seen the fight, but you know, I don't know. It's all I know for sure is that it's going to be a good ass fight.
Yes,
I think it's going to be a very good fight, and it's going to be telling on both sides,
where they're at.
Yeah, where they're at in general. You know,
absolutely.
All right, UFC Austin. We have arrived at the co-main event in the lightweight division, and we have Bobby King Green, 31, 14-1, 37 years old, fighting out of Inland Empire, California, going one-on-one with not Dan Hooker. Unfortunately, he had to fall out because I think he ended up re-breaking or re-injuring the same arm that he broke previously. Was it a break? I don't even recall what happened to Dan Hooker's arm.
Yeah, he re-broke the forearm that he broke against Jalen Turner. Now Jalen Turner stepping in for him.
In comes Jalen Turner, the tarantula. Short notice. 13-7. Fighting out of San Bernardino, California, 28 years old. Crazy fight. Bobby Green constantly, I think, just slept on. This is going to be like his fourth fight in 8 months. Super active right now. Jalen Turner coming in last minute. Initially didn't want to take this fight, but then UFC kind of with a bag that he couldn't refuse.
He was very open about it too.
And he was very open about it.
Good on him. The bag is probably gonna compensate for him not making weight.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it 100 because I don't think he's making weight for this fight.
Yeah, last minute. He's
the biggest lightweight.
But you know Bobby Green's gonna be one of those motherfuckers. He's gonna be like, don't care. He's not gonna decline the fight. He's gonna be like, just give me that percentage. I'll see you in the ring, boy.
Yeah, tell him they better have my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that dude. But yeah, Jalen Turner looks like a fucking middleweight.
I mean, dude, he is
big.
a middleweight, man. He's
big,
super long. Pause. I mean, he's gonna have the height and reach. He's gonna have the power advantage, in my opinion.
He sets better traps with his submissions too. He does.
Not gonna have the cardio edge.
No.
Bobby Green. I mean, you mentioned submissions. I don't think Bobby Green's the easiest guy to submit at all.
No, Bobby's gonna be much better with the hands.
Yes,
like his boxing is exceptional.
Man, it's kind of insane because I don't. And going back to Jalen Turner, like he's coming off a 2-fight losing streak, except in his fight last minute. I don't see him losing 3 fights in a row. Bobby Green, 4 fights in 8 months now.
He's won all of them.
He's won all of them.
Crazy.
I'm kind of leaning Bobby.
Bobby late.
It's insane.
Bobby by decision, I would say.
It's insane that I'm leaning Bobby. I never thought I would say that out loud because I'm really high on Jalen Turner and his potential.
Jalen Turner with a full camp, I think you pick him.
Yes. I think the way you can get to Bobby is if you throw in like combos. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Turner is not really the type to kind of throw in combos like that.
I could see just Jalen keeping him on the outside with the kicks though, low key. Just a little teep kick to the front.
Yeah.
Just keeping that because Bobby's going to be.
Yeah, how do you see this fight playing out? Because I have a hard time kind of like mishmatching how the fight kind of just plays.
It could go so many ways because I could see Jalen getting him against the fence too and trapping him in a guillotine.
Yeah.
I could see that too. I could see Jalen keeping one outside with the teep kicks, with the front kicks. But I could see him trying to have like a striking battle with Bobby having his moments and Jalen having his moments. And then it goes to decision. I could see a lot of shit. You know, it's very interesting. But I tell you what, Jalen Turner's line, I think initially was minus 250. It is now minus 218. So money's coming in on Bobby Green. That's what that means. So I don't blame someone if they want to pick Bobby for this fight. I also don't blame someone if they want to pick the tarantula for this fight.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
Man, dude, looking back at this fucking card so far, dude, it's a very difficult card to bet from a money line standpoint. This is definitely a prop card.
Yeah, no,
100%. Great card, by the way.
And to be honest, not too many dogs either. You know.
Yeah,
there's some dogs here and there, but I mean, I'm kind of leaning Bobby Green here, and I don't know. I'm not fully committed to that. That's just like initial. Just going back and forth because, like I said, would I be surprised if
Jalen gets him out of there early?
Jalen gets him out of there. He has the potential to. Jalen's a son of a bitch, man. He's a big dude. He trains with Kamzat and them boys, and he looks bigger than Kamzat,
which is crazy.
Which is insane.
Which is crazy.
The fact that this guy makes 55 is insane.
He's not making weight. I think we can all agree to that. If there was a bet, even if it was minus 300 for him, that's a big.
It's gonna be like minus 5.
I'm smashing it. I'm smashing it. I will throw down whatever amount of units I have to satisfy my needs because he's not making weight.
It might be close to over 1,000.
Dude, he started. He didn't make weight on a full camp against Gamrot. He barely made weight. Even the Dan Hooker fight, he struggled, man. But it's just he's humongous, and then. And for the Hooker fight, he thought it was smart to put on some lean muscle mass. He had like 6 pounds. Are you high? Yeah. What are you doing? Like, dude, you're built good for the way you are. Just when you want to commit to moving up to a higher weight, then commit. but just become a champion here first and then handle business later.
And this is a 3-rounder. How do you think that? Who do you think that favors?
I think it favors Jalen Turner.
Think so?
Yeah, I think a 5-rounder would favor Bobby. If it was a 5-rounder, I think I might smash Bobby because I just don't see Jalen be able to hang with him for 5 rounds.
Do you like Jalen right now at minus 205?
I don't like anybody at minus 205.
It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. I'm curious. I'll be honest with you. If that line keeps getting smashed for Bobby and that line keeps going down, I'm going to play. And you said minus 205, right? What are you looking at, DraftKings?
I'm on DraftKings right now.
Yeah,
minus
dude.
205.
It says minus 218 here. Maybe it didn't update. Nope, minus 205. Yep. It went from minus 218 to minus 205 within the course of this podcast.
Look at that. Yeah,
So
he's smashed up.
He's getting smashed up. If that line gets low enough and then the finish only for Jalen's like plus money, I'll play it. And then Bobby's.
Actually, no. That would actually. I'm sorry. We said that wrong. If he's going down, that means Bobby Green's getting smashed.
Bobby's getting smashed, 100%. So, but I tell you what, you give me Jalen Turner at minus 175, I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that because he just has to win 2 rounds, and he can do it with his wrestling and his grappling. He can do. I feel confident he could get Bobby to the floor.
Yeah,
Bobby ain't wrestling him because even though Bobby's underrated wrestler, I keep telling you guys when you're wrestling a guy who's like 6'3", 6'4", and they're lanky as hell, it's like you picked them up and their feet are still on the floor. It's very difficult to deal with that. So I like, depending on, I'm going to sit on this one. I'm going to wait. I want to see how it plays out.
100%.
Bobby at plus 200, I'm playing him.
I think I'm going to lean Bobby, not with the biggest amount of confidence, if I'm being completely honest.
Jalen Turner at minus 175, I'm playing him.
Jalen, I wouldn't be surprised if this fight goes either way. I'm just going to for me, it's like Jalen just needs to show me something here. And I think he has the capability and the talent and the athleticism to do and show me that. But
short notice, Bobby Green.
Short notice, Bobby,
cutting weight like that.
There's so many outside factors and variables at play here.
We got to see the weight. We got to see the weigh-in.
Yeah,
I agree with that. But I tell you what, Jalen Turner at minus 175, I'll take that. He needs to win 2 rounds.
Yeah.
If it was a 5-round fight, it'd be sketchy.
It's sketchy.
Yeah. I think this favors Jalen. That's why Jalen, he didn't really want the fight. He didn't even want the fight.
Would you be surprised if Bobby Green knocked him out? 3rd round, tired. I could see
That's what I'm saying. It could be a late stoppage.
I could see it.
It could be a late stoppage.
Bobby Green he's a sniper. He's been on a roll, man.
And active fighters are dangerous because they're sharp.
Yeah.
So.
But now, how active is too active? Like I said, he's been taking mad fights in a very short amount of.
Well, the last fight wasn't a fight.
Yeah, that's true.
He put Grant Dawson in a fucking coffin within 30 seconds. That
was crazy.
I mean, yeah, we got by our money because we bet Grant Dawson.
Yeah, bet Grant Dawson there. He
pieced him.
He might make ordered it, bro.
Laser beam, right hand, boom, put him out.
Yeah.
And on to our next fight.
All right, UFC Austin, main event time. Lightweight division. Beneil Dariush, Arman Tsarukyan. Beneil Dariush, 22-5-1, fighting out of Huntington Beach, California, 34 years old, going one-on-one with Arman Tsarukyan, 20-3, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Armenia, 27 years old. Solid fight. How hyped are you about this fight? How exciting is this fight to you?
I love this fight. But I also think I'm excited about this fight because I think it's a test. It's the first guy that signed the fucking paper to fight Arman. Yeah. That's legit top 5, right?
This is a 5-rounder.
I don't think it's gonna make it 5 rounds.
I think it could make it 5 rounds.
It could. I just don't trust Dariush's chin.
You think Tsarukyan sleeps him? You think Tsarukyan knocks him out?
I think so.
I think the way I see this fight playing out, I think it goes the distance, low key. I just see it being very grapple heavy. Maybe I'm wrong though.
I don't
because Tsarukyan I'm not saying his hands are spectacular.
They're serviceable.
I'm gonna lean more serviceable, more adequate, more
they get the job done.
He got competent.
Yes, he does.
But where he really wants to fight is in the grappling, right?
Yes.
I feel like he's where in the grappling and the wrestling, that's where he excels. Dariush probably would prefer that, only because
World class on the floor.
Again, another world-class wrestler / grappler. Who do you give the power edge to here?
Probably Dariush.
Which
is crazy.
Now, who do you give the chin to?
Easy. Arman,
right? So it's like
younger, faster, stronger. I mean, like there's a lot of reasons to like Arman Tsarukyan in this fight.
It's hard to hate Dariush because it's like, I mean, I don't want to. He's not overrated. He might be a little overrated, but I mean, if you look at his you can't hold him to his last fight because that was against Charles. Charles is a beast.
It's just his defensive striking is not great. Yeah. It's never been great, right? It's like it's the only part of his game, in my opinion, that he hasn't shored up. Like he's a good grappler, he's a good wrestler. His striking, his offensive striking is really good, and he hits hard. I just don't trust this guy's chin. And against someone like Arman doesn't have like the best striking. Like he's not like a world beater. But the thing is, I know people are gonna look at that Gamrot fight, and then Gamrot, lost to Beneil, and then Gamrot beat Arman. But realistically,
you could argue Arman won that fight.
I don't even think it's an argument. I think Arman did.
I thought he won the first 3 rounds.
He won that fight, in my opinion. And they're saying the gas tank. I don't think he's gonna have to worry about gas in this fight. I don't think this fight's going off 5 rounds.
Who do you think gas is first? Dariush probably, right?
How crazy is that, right?
I think Dariush might gas. Actually, no.
I think so.
No disrespect.
He looked gassed against Charles Oliveira in some of the exchanges. Arman got knocked out.
Arman can get tired.
He does,
because he does push a crazy pace.
Correct.
Man, I don't.
But Dariush gassed after fighting Charles after 1 round, and you seen him breathing heavy on the grappling exchanges. Then he got hit, and then he got put out.
I kind of want to lean Dariush here, but then again, now I keep thinking about it. Maybe I just lean Tsarukyan. This is a tough fight actually to pick. From a betting perspective, I think I'm just probably gonna stay away from it if I'm being completely honest.
Oh no, I'm betting this shit like 100%.
I mean, what hits here? The overs? You don't think the over is gonna be juiced?
I don't know, because I like I said, when you have someone with a chin like that, it's just one moment in the fight that can just put his lights out. And dude, he knocked out Joaquim Silva, who's a tank, And don't get me wrong, it was later in the fight. I get that. I just don't know, like the way Tsarukyan strikes, he's in and out. He knows how to use his legs.
Yeah.
Like Gamrot doesn't present those threats. So he does what Gamrot does, but better, in my opinion. And the thing is, and he's younger. So he's making vast improvements between camps. I mean, I think this kid is the future division. And hot take, one of his losses, in my opinion, is better than any of Beneil's wins.
Islam Makhachev, man.
Dude, he at the end of that fight, he was taking down Islam.
Yeah. He was putting a
work on him. And that was his debut fight. So what is he now from his debut? This is. I know people are going crazy about the line. I understand why, but I don't understand why.
What is this line, by the way?
Tsarukyan is minus 310.
Ooh, okay.
His submission is plus 900. His knockout's plus 130. But his to finish is plus 110. I like those lines. Against an older lightweight, a guy who doesn't have a chin. I
got to think about it.
I don't get me wrong. In the grappling, it's going to be about even. But the thing is, too, Beneil will go for a leg lock and then get hammered. That can happen, too. There's a lot of shit that can happen in this fight. I just think Arman is the real deal, and this is the first guy who has signed the paper to fight him. Gamrot does not present the same issues that Arman Tsarukyan presents, in my opinion. I think Arman is legit. I think Arman's going to be the future of this division.
Yeah, just going over it, I think I am going to, again, not with the most confidence. I mean, not as confident as you are, because I feel like you got a better read than I do on this fight. I think I am going to lean Tsarukyan just ever so slightly. I do think Dariush is tough, man, and could present some problems to Tsarukyan, but yeah,
he definitely doesn't.
I think you're right. I got to lean the younger guy. I think I got to lean the guy whose only loss is probably better than any one of his wins. You're right.
Who is Dariush beaten? A wash Tony Ferguson? If Tony Ferguson fought Dariush in his prime, Tony Ferguson would have beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that I hate that all these guys fight Tony Ferguson and then they like, oh yeah, well he's he's never that good. No, bitch. If you fought him at his peak, he would have fucking destroyed you.
Yeah.
Just like he destroyed a lot of other good fighters that were more technical than him. You know, I'm sorry. And let me take a look at something real quick because I'm curious.
I mean,
by the way, he has. If you think Dariush is gonna win this fight, I understand why you might think it's gonna go to decision. He has 5 losses. All of them did not go to distance.
Yeah, he's never lost by decision.
No, he's killed or if he loses, he's gonna get killed.
Yeah,
and
if it goes the distance, he's gonna win.
Correct.
But most of the time, like so. Now we're saying when you put it in that perspective, like now is Tsarukyan gonna be the first guy if it goes the distance? Can Tsarukyan beat him by decision? Like, how many knockouts does Tsarukyan have? Like, how many submission wins does he have? Like, what's Tsarukyan's like breakdown?
What I will say is Beneil Dariush got choked out by Michael Chiesa.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
I mean, guys. Oh my God. My name is Mike too, but fuck. If it ain't Jackson, Tyson, Jordan, I ain't fucking with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, but my thing is Beneil, and that's the thing. This is the same guy. Like, he beat Drakkar Klose. That was like the highlight of his career. It's just Drakkar Klose. No disrespect to Drakkar Klose.
Yeah,
Drakkar Klose is underrated as hell. But they were talking. They bigged him up so much after that fight, dude. He was not even a ranked opponent. He was not a ranked opponent. He beat a washed Tony Ferguson. I mean, Lord, man. And by the way, Tsarukyan, 9 decisions. 9 decisions. 7 of them wins, 2 of them losses. And he's been knocked out once. Who knocked him out? I'm curious.
This is his second fight in ever as a professional.
Yeah, it happens, man.
2015.
You don't even count that shit. He lost to Gamrot and he lost to Makhachev. And he was beating on Makhachev in the second second half of that fight. And I thought he beat Gamrot. I'm gonna be frank with you. I don't know. I just no. I
mean,
I don't think
he's
so.
got 7 years. He's 7 years younger.
Everything.
He's got the slight reach advantage, only by ½ inch. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know how I'm gonna even attempt to attack this from a betting side. I have no kind of bets on it.
Gamrot was his most impressive win. It was.
Yeah.
Gamrot.
The more you're kind of talking me more and more onto the Tsarukyan side. I was on the fence. I'm not gonna lie. I was fence sitting the shit out of this fight. Only because like I could just see both sides. But like, yeah, the more I kind of play it out, the more I think the younger guy here should be. I don't know if it should be. I don't know if the line should be as wide as it is.
Agreed.
Because
I'll give you
minus
that.
300 is kind of
he could roll him up and get his leg and get him in a knee bar or something, or even just get his back and then
Dariush is crafty, man.
He's very crafty.
He's a crafty dude. So,
but how old is he, by the way? I'm curious.
37. No,
34.
I'm 34.
Which is not terribly late.
Tsarukyan's 27.
Yeah, it's not terribly late at lightweight. But no. I see why the line is there, because if there's put it this way, if there's a chance of a one-sided ass whooping in this fight, who are you going to say it's going to belong to?
Probably Tsarukyan.
Tsarukyan.
Yeah,
100%. If the finish, I'll give Beneil his stripes, because he can knock anybody out. He can knock anyone out. He can submit anyone. I just think that Tsarukyan puts together the game better than he does. I really do. And he's younger, faster, stronger. I think he's going to be the better wrestler here. You know.
Yeah, he's gonna be the more explosive grappler. I think the first like 1 or 2 rounds of this fight is gonna see some crazy scrambles. It's gonna be amazing to watch.
It's gonna say a lot. It's a great fight.
Yeah,
for stylistically, but I don't know. Like, people are just weirded out by this line with minus 310. I'm not for it, but I'm not completely against it. I think he might roll him. He might roll him bad, and I think Arman is fighting with a fucking big chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
because he knows he won that Gamrot fight. He's going to answer questions about taking that tank on the last fight and it going very close to decision. And by the way, Arman fights to finish. Like, he's actively trying to get you out of there, you know? So I love Arman here. I do. I think he's the future of this division. I really do. And I think Gamrot got sent back by him, but I think Arman's better than Gamrot.
You don't think Dariush plus 250 is a little crazy though? It might be like I'm not gonna blame anybody if you're taking Dariush plus 250.
No, I just don't think.
I think that number's kind of wide.
I agree. Yeah. Like, we're talking money line and playing the spread, sure. But if you're asking me who I think is gonna win, it's Arman.
Yeah,
100%. You know, I think this kid He's the goods. He's filthy. He's filthy, man. And now to wrap up episode 37, UFC Austin. And that's the bottom line because Austin said so. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez.
Nah, I'll stop. But you guys already know the business. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visuals. Don't forget to drop a comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date. And
for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. We'll keep you guys posted on the boxing fights for this weekend, as we talked about in the beginning of the podcast. We'll keep you guys updated. Please follow us on all social media platforms. Please follow us and subscribe. It's all free, guys. Like I said numerous times, free 99, free content. We're helping you out. You guys we would love for you guys to help us out. I don't know. I feel like you guys don't like us, but
show love, spread the word, man. Let your friends know, let your mama know, let your grandmama know, let your dog know. You know what I'm saying? Let your sister, let your brother,
your cats,
all
of them.
Fish.
We want all of it.
Subscribe, know what I'm saying?
Show
some love, know what I'm saying?
But yeah, those subscriptions, guys, they're no charge. Just so you know, I want to reemphasize that, so give us some love, show us some love. We're giving you guys free content, free bets. We've had a couple of people hit us up and say, yo, we've played some of those things that you guys have talked about on the podcast and giving us our big ups and stuff like that. So, and all I say to them is, listen, man, we're just doing you guys a service. All we want is subscriptions, clicks, and more what is it, traffic. So that's all we're looking for.
Juice the algorithm, man. Juice it.
That's all. So, but ladies and gentlemen, that's all. Follow us on social media for those boxing fights that we're going to keep you guys updated about for this weekend. Love you guys. Holla at you guys. See you later.